Hey, this is Juno, and welcome back to another account review, plus follow-up improvements on MKcaliff's account. This account is the highest tier in our Patreon. He wants RTA improvements, but he also wants to know what other things I think I could improve on this account, so we'll give him that, and depending on his decision, we'll work on that improvement next. I think it's an awesome account. I do think there are certain places where we could do better. So let's see what those are. So the record shows he currently reached P3 in regular arena at a certain point. He's an F3 RTA. That's pretty low. And I'm saying that after seeing his rune quality. We'll look at it together through swap. Special League is F2. So it looks like he's been holding off real-time arena for a while. He's in a G1 P3 siege. From his dungeons, I do think he has a very nice dungeon here. His GB12 team, or his GB Abyss Heart team, being 20 seconds quickest. I'm pretty sure the average is a little slower, but 20 seconds, that's insane. And then the Dragon's Abyss Heart is 1:06. Necro is 56 seconds. So if anything, I'm pretty sure I could improve his Dragon's team relatively easily. He does have a solo R5 team, obviously, so that is no problem. I also think that we could get a better arena rank. This is his current defense, which I do think is pretty nice. But let's check out the builds. Okay, that's a little slow of a Tianlang, and I do like Violent more on defense. Pyeongchul being really squishy and very slow. Looking at his rune quality right now, he might not be able to get a better record. I'm not too sure, but we could also try a triple shield Vanessa because we've seen a lot of success with it on 100 res. Juno also not being too quick. Let's go into swap right now and see his rune quality, because it will determine my decision on what I think I could get better for him. Before that, let's also check the AOs. I don't like this AO too much. Chiu Escher seems like a better choice, assuming that he has Chiu. Kabila Chiu also is not too bad. But you do like the speed buff, which you don't really need if you're going to use Zeros as a damage dealer. Okay, this is a common offense that I see if you have a Nephthys. The one downside is that you have to have a really fast Kabila, which he's not currently using. And it seems like his Tiana is also not that quick. So seeing his AOs, it definitely looks outdated. So I do think we can make a couple of better offenses or even improve some of these offenses for him to use in his next rush, because it definitely looks lacking. Now in swap, let's check out his rune quality. Only 6 stars. 12 to 15. He has a total of 2,600 runes, over 110% efficiency. Will tell us at least if he's farming R5 consistently and actively. 9 runes. That's a bummer. I expected a couple hundred. Well, not a couple hundred, I guess at least over 20, 100%. 100 runes, okay. Maybe he actually needs to work on R5 a lot. 90 to 100. 481 runes. So it definitely looks like he has a lot of runes in this range of efficiency. And it tells me, if you see it with me, it's all about the grinds and gems. So I want to tell him that he should focus on R5 for a while. Let's check out his Swift runes and see how fast they are. For Swift, it's mostly about speed anyways. 31, it could be a 32. Again, it's kind of screaming grind issues. You see another 25 with a +3, another 25 +3. Yeah, so I think my point is proven here. Let's check out Violent. 31, another 31, but it's 30 right now because he has a +4, another +4, a lot of great base runes. If you even look at this one here that has 30 speed, which could be 31, the gem is a +5. A +5 plus a grind that's also a +5, so 10%. So he's lacking a lot in this aspect. Definitely is a grind and gem issue. Raid and R5 is what I would work on. Yes, again, a whole lot of 3s here on the speed. Runes lacking max hero grinds. It's pretty evident. Despair, same thing, a lot of +3s, +5s. And then finally intangible, if he has anything good, is not even being grinded. Everything shouts grinds and gem issues, and probably that is why we are seeing some lackluster builds in his arena defense when we checked it out. But that does not hinder him, at least even right now, to get a better record in RTA and even in regular arena. I do think he only really needs 3 to 4 offenses. Maybe just 3 is fine. I would go with a fast team with Chu Escher or Chu Kabila. Chu Kabila might be better since you don't need a speed buff. I believe you do not have a Leah. Yeah, so definitely speed buff is not needed if you're not going to be using Leah as a damage dealer. I also think that this girl could output a lot of damage, so you could use this instead of Zeros. But I think the overall damage right now, Zeros is better because it also has the condition to always crit if he has higher attack. This does get 100% more critical damage, so you could try both and see which one hits harder and determine that. Also, I'll make the Tiana team. I think a Tiana team is fine. You had Deborah and you have Zeros. A lot of people have recommended me to make a Deborah Zeros team, and we all know that hits like a truck. So that will be the offense that I'll use to handle a very tanky teams that are slow. And then a second turn team is what I'll use to deal with faster defenses. It still works well with Christina, assuming you have Christina. Actually, you do. Awesome. He has a couple of LD5s, Destiny, Nephthys, Miying, and then finally a Tianlang. So a lot of great LD5s for RTA as well. What else is there? There's a second turn team. I know you have Hey Gang. We saw Hey Gang, Trix, Amber, and all of that. So that could work as well. So I think those 3 teams will just be everything you need for you to get a Guardian record. I will just focus and get better builds on your defense. I like the defense, I do. If you think this is not working too well, you could take these 2 out. I know you had Triton, and I would also put something like a Manon and see if the RNG aspect can help out getting a better record, because it worked out for me. So I think this is still a very strong defense. I do think Pyeongchars are no longer so much of the meta. There are a few outliers because they can make crazy Pyeongchars that have crazy HP, or they go like Pyeongchar Leo that is somewhat weird, but you guys have seen it in my rush video where there's like 70k Pyeongchars, and those are definitely outliers and are able to do that with a Leo on the field. But most Pyeongchars now are not as tanky for it to survive a really hard nuke. I think defenses like this that has an RNG aspect are coming up and more popular these days. RTA is really what you wanted to know. You're currently in C1. I do think you should be in C1 and higher, but right now your win rate seems a little low, being 51.5%, having 227 games. With your rune quality, with the speed that we have seen, I do think you should be going up higher. I do want you to try the Layla comp, but right now I'm pretty sure you are spreading out your runes a little too much. I do like this team, especially when you have Nephthys. The one downfall of this team is that you don't have a Oblivion unit, an AoE Oblivion. You do have Destiny, so you could use her as a single target Oblivion unit, and also a unit that could kill off a counter. However, I do think it's still slightly weaker against double counters like Vero Juno or Vero Juno Tetra in that sense. I would like you to have a hard-hitting damage dealer, which would be Sonya. I'll use a Sonya, and also it'll be a Destiny. Maybe one more, like Masha is something that I like to use too. Cassandra will be awesome as well. If you could figure out a way to incorporate those type of units into your draft, into your Lila draft, I think you will do better. It's definitely a pick and ban game, and I do think you do have to learn that a little. I've helped out an account recently that I believe that initially it really just had Sean B's box and rune quality was very nice. So from that, I thought the Lila team would have been a good fit for him, because he also said that he struggles with drafting, and the Lila team seemed just like a set type of team up to a certain point, and he just had to figure out the counters. But he came back to me saying that he wasn't happy with it because he doesn't like the Lila team. Unfortunate, but from the box, it just felt like, for me at least, because I'm the one that you guys asked me to make the changes, it felt like that team was the best team for the account. So I'm gonna give the same recommendation to this account. If anything, I'm gonna get rid of some of these so you don't have to spread out your runes. This seems a little better. Did you have Cassandra? Let's see if we could add something. This guy hits hard. We all know that. Oh, you have Cassandra. I'll definitely add that. Yeah, maybe something like this. I mean, even right now, the box seems a little too big, so I'm going to condense it a little more, especially if he wants me to work on the account. But I think this would be enough for him to get at least into C2 and maybe even into C3. But I do think grinds is going to be an issue for his account because from what we've seen, we know that his efficiencies are pretty low, telling me that overall his grind and gem status isn't that great. So that's the initial impression I've gotten after seeing his rune quality status. Okay, but at least he has a lot of grinds and gems sitting around, which would allow me, I guess gems is not really there, but it will allow me to grind some of these runes that are lacking those grinds. So he is in the pre-3 siege. His defenses, he has a lot. He has 10. I would condense this, especially if it's not performing. Yeah, there's one that's performing. The others are doing relatively poorly or not being used at all. I'll just make like 4 to 6 defenses and let's check out offenses. He can make more because it is a Punisher guild, but for it to all perform really well, I'll decrease the amount of defenses to focus your runes. And for offenses, yeah, these offenses are great. I'll add a Belial offense because I do believe you had Belial somewhere sitting around. Yup, Belial Camilla is definitely one I'll run. So you want to add that. You could add a couple more snipes here. It looks like you're not sharing your Swift runes. Yeah, these are all flaws because it is, if you want the highest chance of winning in Siege, especially with the cleave, you do want to outspeed most of your opponents. And to do that is to use your best Swift sets around so that the chance of that is higher. But seeing it right now, I could probably make 2 to 3 offenses. I'll fix these, all that they're tuned to that fastest Swift set. And also I'll make like the Bernard, Julie offense. He could also make those, right? He could also make those. They're very easy to make. Yeah, I like this Claire offense as well. I'll make a Mi Hang offense. Mi Hang, speed lead +1 is also very strong. Like Mi Hang, Adriana, Sonia is something that you want to use to outspeed most and snipe out a damage dealer. Belial team is definitely one. And what else is there? You want to make a Malite defense. Those work. You want to make a Louise, Hagang, Rika type of defense. Those work really well against first turn strippers. There's a lot to make. So please watch other Siege players and see how they're using their offenses and try to copy them because it's like a trickling down effect. Once the G3 guilds make new meta defenses, the lower level guilds follow that. And then if the G3 players find certain counters against those defenses, they'll show that through their videos. And then you kind of want to copy that because those defenses has trickled down into your level as well. But that was it for this review, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want account reviews like this, please join my Patreon. If you guys want account improvements, join my Discord, fill out the Google form, and I'll talk to you next time. This account has only one simple task. It needs to work on gems and grinds. Before I leave, I want to check one last thing. Does he have a lot of horns? Because if he does, I would want to use it. Only 11. Only 11. Yeah. So I'll tell this account owner to continuously farm R5 and raid. And there are certain improvements I can make for Arena, Siege, and also RTA. So I'll let them decide. The next video will show that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.